time with you discussing some of those technologies so you can get as excited about it as I am. All right. So also, I want you guys to remember that we are in the middle of our live stream series. Now, if you've been tuning in already, Larry, I'm sure they've probably seen it, but guess what, guys? We changed up the color. That's right. For the last two live streams, we had the platinum trim level. This live stream, we have the Lariat trim level, and as you guys can see, it is, of course, in a different color. So we're excited about that. It gives you another look at the F-150 Lightning and how it can be packaged, configured, and so I'm excited to kind of unveil and unbox some of those technologies with you. For the rest of the year, in December, we're actually going to be giving you a full model overview. So just as I talked about in the previous live streams, we had some different, the platinum model trim level. This is the Lariat trim level. We're going to give you a model overview. So make sure you are prepared and ready to tune in December, because we're going to have some more great information that we're going to go into for you there. Now, when it comes to this vehicle, the Lariat that we have here, whenever someone is talking about technology, electrification, a lot of times we immediately think about the powertrain, right? We think about how is the vehicle. And so one of the things that you're going to experience is that the technology of this vehicle goes well beyond just how the vehicle is propelled, right? That's one, aspect of the technology. And of course, with the F-150 Lightning, you do have those drivetrain and powertrain technologies that come into play. So as an example, you have always consistent four-wheel drive, and that is done through the system that works on the vehicle and works on the F-150 Lightning. And so that's a technology that you're going to see on the F-150 Lightning. Of course, some of the other things that go into it is its lower center of gravity. There's been some changes to the rear suspension and some things that make it uniquely its own distinct F-Series vehicle, right? But the technology is just not limited to what you see and what you experience with the powertrain. And that's what we want to focus on today, is we want to focus on some of those other technologies that really make your F-150 Lightning experience unique. It's a vehicle that will adapt to your lifestyle. It's a vehicle that you can integrate into your lifestyle. And it's really one that if you're used to technology and using technology, it's one that can elevate that platform for you. All right. So for all electric vehicles, it's a personalized, connected experience. And with the F-150 Lightning, that is not going to change. There's a number of ways that you can be connected to your vehicle to feel comfortable, confident, and in control when you're behind the wheel. One of those, of course, is the Ford Copilot 360 technologies, and those features that keep you comfortable and confident and in command. And so we're going to talk about those. But right now, I want to talk about something that you guys all probably know or see. That's right, technology, right? We're talking technology. So one of the first features that we're going to talk about is phone as a key. All right. Now, a couple things and disclaimers that I want to mention to you guys. Of course, as you know, these vehicles are prototype, pre-production vehicles. We have the opportunity to get them to you as early as possible. And so what that means is some of the things that I'm going to discuss are not going to be full functioning on the vehicle, or I'm not going to go into it in depth. I want to give you guys the insight so you know what to expect if you're looking to take delivery of your own F-150 Lightning. So keeping that in mind, keeping in mind that we're in a live environment, that these are pre-production and prototype vehicles, I'm going to take my time to walk you through how these functions work, how these features work, and how this technology is going to benefit your ownership experience. So phone is a key. What does that mean to me, right? Well, what phone as a key is, it gives you the ability to now have this device, as I mentioned, you see I have it right here in my back pocket, to have this device that you normally typically have with you, and now elevate it to use this as the key for your vehicle. So if you can think about all the times that you've left out of the house and you've gathered all of the things that you normally leave the house with. I mean, for me, it's normally my phone, my keys, my wallet, right? And even just with that, there have been times where if I leave the house and I forget my phone versus forgetting my wallet, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to go back for my phone, right? Especially now with technology, because a lot of the information that I need to utilize, I now have at my fingertips on my phone. That includes my digital wallet and things of that nature. So now with phone as a key, you have the ability to utilize that. So with phone as a key, it's going to allow you to, and Larry, let's come this way so they can get a real idea. So as phone as a key, if I have my phone on me in my person, I can actually approach my vehicle, and the vehicle is going to know that I'm approaching the vehicle, and what it's going to allow me to do, even remotely, is utilize certain features. It's going to allow me to start, stop, unlock, and then access my vehicle. And I can now use my phone in place of my traditional key fob. Okay, so it's a big benefit because from a technology standpoint, if I have my phone and I'm able to utilize my phone, not only do I have my traditional access points, and as we talked about, this truck is all F-150, so not only do I have my keypad access or my intelligent access here, but now with my phone as a key, I'm going to be able to do things like remotely lock and unlock my vehicle. It gives me passive entry and exit, passive start and drive of the vehicle. And of course, as I mentioned, it will allow me to remote start. Now, a couple of things that I love about the phone as a key feature is that it also incorporates my memory functions of my vehicle. So with my phone as a key, I have the ability to program up to 4 virtual keys. That's huge, right? So if you're in a multi-driver household, you now have the opportunity to where you can have up to 4 virtual keys programmed. So no longer do you have to worry about, hey, where'd you put the key? Do you have the key with you? Did you take the key with you when you left for work this morning? You don't have to worry about those conversations anymore. Now, you can program up to 4 keys on your cellular device and utilize that in lieu of or in place of your actual key fob. So that's a great feature. And with those memory features, if you are in a multi-family household or multi-driver household, well then you can have it to where when I approach the vehicle, as an example, it's going to set my memory different than what my wife's memory settings would be if she approached and went into the F-150 Lightning. So it's a great feature to have. It makes it really convenient and makes your ownership experience, again, even more personal. So with that as well, it also allows for the 4 virtual keys to access. It also has a valet mode. All right. Give me a second, guys. My tablet's vibrating here. It looks like I might already have a question. So let me take a pause and we'll get to the question and see if I can get that answered. All right. Oh, John. Hey, John. Welcome. And see, I told you, Larry, I knew they were gonna notice. John asked a question I was hoping somebody would. So, John, thanks for tuning in. We're excited to have you. John's question is this: what is the color of the F-150 Lightning shown, right? That's a great question. Thank you. This color is actually called Atlas Blue Metallic. So thank you for asking that, John. Thanks for tuning in and being with us. It's a great question. I'm glad you noticed that we changed up the color. Make sure you tune in into December as well. We might have another surprise for you. And so getting back to what we were talking about with the memory in the phone as a key. So that's an available feature that is one of the things that makes phone as a key just an elevated part of ownership. So if you have that feature available, and that's an available feature that you opted in to order on your F-150 Lightning, then with that available feature, what it's going to do is it's going to set up to where, as I mentioned, if I come to the car and I start and operate the vehicle, it's going to have my memories, which can include certain things like it can include my seat, my side mirrors, my radio presets, things of that nature. Any of those features that are on my vehicle that will operate out of the memory functions will be impacted with that memory setting if you have it available and you opt into that as an option. I highly recommend it. It's great. Now, it also allows for a valet mode. So utilizing the phone as a key feature, because I know what you're thinking, because I thought about it as well. Well, if I go and I need to valet my car, I don't want to hand over my phone. Well, no, you don't have to. You don't have to worry about that. It gives you the ability to where with the Valet system, it's going to provide a temporary access code and it will do a temporary verification. So as long as my phone is in person, I can start the valet mode process and then it will verify and take me through a couple of steps. And now I can comfortably and confidently allow the valet to move my car and I can continue on with my day. And that limited access will be granted for them to move the car as normal. So not only does it give you that comfort and confidence, but you can keep your phone on your person, still allow valet services to, complete, and you don't have to worry about it. But I know, don't worry, because guess what? Even if you don't want to use they get 2? What? Yes, you guys get 2 key fob. So even if you don't want to utilize the phone as a key technology, you will still get your 2 physical traditional key fobs that you will be able to use just as normal. All right. So again, that phone as a key technology is a new technology feature that we're really excited about because, again, it just elevates the ownership experience beyond what we've been accustomed to. All right. So the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is our Sync 4 system. So we're going to talk about Sync 4 and Sync 4A. Now, I want to spend a little bit of time here because for the Sync 4 system, with that, there's some differences that I want to go into describing between Sync 4 and Sync 4A. So let's talk about Sync 4, right? We all know Sync 4 is that conversational voice recognition and cloud-based service is connected, and it helps ensure that you have the access to the latest information. So whether you're looking for charging stations or just to make sure that your preset buttons as far as your radio or infotainment are up to date, or even just searching for a restaurant nearby, Sync 4 is going to help you accomplish all of that. It gives you effortless integration, and so it's basically keeps you in sync. No reference to the boy band. So Sync 4 comes standard on the Pro and the XLT models. So that's the model that's going to give you that 12-inch horizontal give you that 12-inch landscape touchscreen, right? So it gives you a much larger screen than what you can experience on your mobile device. And what that does is that encourages you to, of course, keep your hands on the steering wheel and your eyes on the road. So the Sync system allows you to now be connected with your vehicle, but also still maintain and be in tuned and alert while being on the road. So it's going to include certain things like cord-free capability for Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So as long as you have that compatibility with your cellular device, now you can take advantage of having that cord-free. You also are going to have the ability to have connected built-in navigation, which provides real-time traffic, weather, construction, and so much more. You're going to have enhanced voice recognition, which allows you to access the cloud-based conversational voice commands, right? So you also are going to have, and if you're a music lover like I am, you are going to have, of course, the ability to have your Sirius Xm with 360L. So what that does is that gives you the widest variety of ad-free music, sports, talk, news, and so much more. With the Sync 4 system, as I mentioned, having that voice recognition and voice command, and even pairing that with the phone as a key system, you can now talk to your vehicle and tell it to turn to your favorite station and then continue on your travels. So it, again, just makes that ownership experience more in tuned and more connected. You also are going to have, of course, the Ford Power Up software updates. Now, those are big because they help ensure that you have the latest available software downloaded from the cloud. So you want to make sure that you're doing those and make sure that you also have that Ford Power Up software updates, because, again, that keeps all of the technology features that we're talking about, and we'll get a little bit more into the importance of that later on. But it keeps that information up to date and keeps your ownership experience basically moving as succinct as possible. You also are going to have the ability to easily search and utilize your easy-to-search digital owner's manual, right? So that's another feature and benefit that you will have. You will easily be able to search for nearby charging plans, so you can plan a road trip using the Ford Power My Trip feature as well. So all of those are part of your Sync system, right? And get this, and they're going to love this. I'm going to actually it's kind of like a secret, but it's not, I'm going to tell them. So guess what, guys? Listen, with this, you are going to have the built-in Ford Assistant. What does that mean, right? That means that your F-150 Lightning is your F-150 Lightning's expert. What? That's right. Wait. So with the built-in assistance, guys, what that means is that your F-150 Lightning is your F-150 Lightning's expert. How great is that? This is all talking about the technology that comes into play and now things that you're going to have access to. All right? So, Larry, here's what I want to do. We talked a lot about Sync 4, and I know what they're thinking because we're in tune, right? We're in sync, right, guys? So they want to see some of this stuff. So what we're going to do, I want to give you the opportunity to hop in this truck with me. We're going to hop in the Lightning, and I want to talk a little bit more with you guys about the Sync 4A system. So we're going to get inside for that. So give Larry a chance to get inside. I'm going to get in the driver's seat, and we're going to talk a little bit more about Sync 4A, all right? All right, Larry. Good to see you again. Back there? All right, so here's the other great advantage. We're going to get this baby fired up. We're going to go ahead and get it started. And then we're going to talk about some of the great system features of the Sync 4. Now, Larry, I know what they were thinking, right? And I wanted to point this out. Because they're thinking, yeah, he said it's a prototype and, yeah, all this other stuff. It's right here on the dash, guys. It says it right here. Look at that. See? I wasn't kidding. This is how excited we are to get you as much information about the Lightning as possible. So when I say that these are pre-production prototype vehicles, that's what I mean. What that also means, guys, if you hear a beep, a ding, or see something crazy, well, that's just because these vehicles are early in production and there's some of the equipment that's still being tested. But I'm going to go through and show you as much stuff as I can because I want you to be as excited about this vehicle as I am, right? So let's talk about Sync 4A. So the first thing when we're talking about Sync 4A is what does that mean to me? Here's how I would describe it. What Sync 4A does is it gives you a more personal experience. It takes the time to learn habits that you might have. So as an example, let's say me as an example, I leave, and normally whenever I leave work or the office or, you know, anywhere I'm at, I'm calling home to check in. I'm checking on the wife, checking on the kids, seeing what everything is going on. Well, as I continuously do that, then what the Sync 4A system will start to do is learn that habit. And then it will start to offer me prompts to say, would you like to call home? Especially if I'm doing it at a set time every day. Same thing, let's say I go to a certain destination. Maybe I have a favorite coffee shop or restaurant, whatever the case might be, or I go to the gym. Then it's going to also notice that in my navigation and start to give me prompts to say, would you like to navigate to the gym, or would you like to navigate to XYZ coffee shop, right? Those are just some little examples of what the Sync 4A system does. Sync 4A is basically more personable, more in tune, and more about learning your habits. Sync 4A is also going to be coupled with what you see here, right? And Larry, can you give them a shot of this beautiful screen? This, ladies and gentlemen, is our beautiful 15.5-inch vertical display screen that you're going to have with the Sync 4A system. All right, so that's another big benefit that you're going to see with the Sync 4A. Not only is it a system that learns your habits in order to provide suggestions such as calling home during rush hour or driving to the gym or your preferred coffee shop, but it's one that allows you the visibility to keep your eyes on the road but still have an in-tune experience with your vehicle. And what you're going to notice is that the system itself, it runs and flows very smooth, and I'm going to demonstrate and show you how some of those options work here as well. So some of the technologies that I wanted to talk about with the Sync 4A, you also are going to have not only the 15.5-inch display screen, but you're going to have enhanced voice recognition. The Sync 4A system is standard on the Lariat, which is the trim level that we have here, and it is also standard on the Platinum models, okay, so keep that in mind. You are going to have that standard Sirius Xm. So we talked about the Sirius Xm being available with the Sync 4. With Sync 4A, that Sirius Xm with 360L is going to be a standard feature. It also offers impressive features including voice access to your favorite apps, and we'll talk about some of those apps, connected built-in navigation, so it's a cloud-based connectivity, and of course even more. You also are going to have the use of adaptive dash cards that can reflect your most recently used apps. So I'll show you guys how that works. So one of those things, and Larry, you can check this out here. So when it talks about those frequently used apps, one of the ones that I want you guys to be comfortable with using, this right here at the bottom is where you're going to see some of your frequently used apps. okay? And you guys can see how easily and succinct the screen is based on my touch. So you can utilize certain things, like I have the owner's manual pulled up. So I can go into my owner's manual, and you guys can even see some of the different categories that I can search. One of the cool features, you can go into right in the video, see? And like I told you, pre-production. So you can go right into the video and it'll show you that. I can go back. I can do a visual search if I want to search for a visual. So these are all some things that I can find in my digital owner's manual, and they'll display right here on my screen. What does that look like? That is, for me, when I go into the sketch pad, guess what that is, guys? C-O-O-L. That is cool. That's what that is. So that's just another example of how the sync system, now even with the sketch pad, something that simple. Here's what's great about this, guys. Let's say I wanted to create a grocery list or things that I needed to stop and do. I can create that list, and guess what? I can save it for later, and now I can go in, and if I want to finish and save that, well, I can go over here. I can save it for later. Let's go here, done, save new sketch. Yes, I'm going to save that one. And now I can have that saved and pull it up for later for another experience. Now, even with these cards, if I want to move them or get them, as you guys can see, I minimize them so that way they don't take up too much space. But anytime I'm ready to go back to my next tab, I can easily do that. So again, guys, as we talked about with the Sync 4A, utilizing those adaptive dash cards is just another way. This gives you your Sync 4A system is your one-stop shop for all of your vehicle controls. Makes it really nice, even utilizing certain things like your climate control. It's literally all at your fingertips. I can go in here and I can activate my climate control based on my different zones and make all of those different features. So again, Sync 4A, it learns your habits in order to provide suggestions and features that are going to adapt to your lifestyle and your driving habits. That's what makes it great. All right. So what do you guys think? It looks beautiful inside here, right? All right. So, Larry, we're not done yet. We're going to talk about towing and technology next. So in order for us to do that, well, you guys guessed it. We've got to get out and head towards the back. So I'm going to give Larry an opportunity. We're going to meet you in the back, and we're going to talk a little bit more about tow technology and some of the key features there. You guys ready? I know you're not ready because you're like, I want to see all the cool buttons and whistles. It's great in here. But let's move. Let's head to the back. All right, guys, let's go. All right, so before we head to the back, the very back, and you know what, guys, I hear beeping. That's my fault. Hold on 1 second. Larry, show him the lightning badge while I'm going here. Thank you. I'll be right back. It'll only literally take me 1 second because all I gotta do is press a button. Fun stuff. You know what I did, guys? I forgot to turn the car off. And it was reminding me because guess what I did? I got out of the vehicle and I was starting to exit from the vehicle and walking away. And that's why the vehicle was beeping at me saying, hey, turn me off. And that's one of the benefits of the lightning being so quiet is that, you know, you have to remember to turn it off. But another great feature to know about that is that your vehicle does have an automatic timer shut off. So that's another key feature from a safety standpoint that you don't have to worry about. That if in the event you do something like I just did, luckily I'm in studio, but there is safety measures in place for that. Let's get back to talking about lightning and towing because, as we say, not only does it build and move like a bullet train, but it works like a freight train, right? So it's going to be able to have fun and tow and do all the stuff that you want to do. So let's talk about our tow technology package and what that includes. Now, the big thing with the tow technology package is that it is available on all trim levels. So as I mentioned, in December, we're going to be giving you a model overview, so make sure you tune in for that. But with the tow technology package, it is available on all trim levels, and I want you guys to know what that includes, so that way, when the ordering banks do open up, you're ready. You don't even have to question. You don't have to go through it because you've been taking notes. You've been tuning in to Discover Your Ford and our live stream, so you've got all the insider information, right? So what they include with the tow technology package, it starts with your Pro Trailer Backup Assist. Now, as we all know, Backing a trailer up can be challenging. I don't care how long you've been doing it, right? I remember my dad trying to teach me how to do it a long time ago, and it was just like, what, to do this, to go that way? It's challenging, right? And so what this does is this feature lets you simply turn a knob in the direction that you want the trailer to go. So that makes it a lot easier for you. And then from there, the system takes over, take controls of your physical steering wheel, and so that way you don't have to handle the gymnastics that come along with trying to do the trailering. All right, so there's also trailer reverse guidance. Now, this is something that's really interesting about this truck that you may not notice at first, and when we went down it, is that it is loaded with cameras and sensors. Do you see any right now? Do you think they see any, Larry? You want to show them one? All right, let's go this way. Come this way with me, Larry. I'll show you guys one so you can see it. So this truck is loaded with cameras, and I bet you that unless you were familiar, you guys didn't even see this camera that's sitting right here. All right? Now, one of the ways that you can put some of those cameras and sensors into great use is, well, you can do that with utilizing of the trailer reverse guidance. And what that does is that when you have it's going to basically, what it's going to do is when you're backing up with your trailer, the cameras on the side view mirrors are activated to give you greater visibility. And so that's an advantage to you because now you're utilizing technology. If you remember, before you had to have the long trailer or tow mirrors to get that added visibility. Now you can do that with the benefit of technology. So that's one benefit, that those side cameras, when you have a conventional trailer attached, it's going to activate and give you greater visibility, which of course does what? Improves your confidence and your comfort when you're behind the wheel of your F-150 Lightning. Now, the another great thing that you're going to notice with that nice wide angle is that it also gives you guidelines in the screen to show you where your trailer is headed. So that's another big advantage that you're going to have. And the middle of the section, middle section of the screen will also coach you for what effects your current steering position will have on your trailer. Okay, so again, some of the highlights that you're going to have with that trailer reverse guidance, it's utilizing all the technology that we've been discussing. Another feature that you'll have is the trailer brake control. Now, this allows you to change the gain or the amount of force that's applied to the trailer brake. So your truck and your trailer can come to a smooth stop. So that's another big advantage for you. You're going to have smart trailer tow connector. All right. And that provides you with a trailer connection status. So what that's going to do is that's going to make sure and check the connection status of your trailer. And so if in the event it notices anything, it will give you an alert and a warning to display, and it'll display on your productivity screen to let you know, hey, I need to come back here in the back and I need to check my connection to make sure that it's secure and properly in place. All right. So that's going to talk about the lightings and your trailer battery alerts. So it's going to give you those things and alert you and warn you if it senses that something is potentially off. All right. Smart Hitch. Smart Hitch is another one that is great because it estimates the tongue weight of the trailer being connected to help you distribute your trailer weight correctly. All right, so this is all big. Now, also, if you remember back here in the back, and we talked about this previously, is the onboard scale. So the onboard scales are great because if you remember from our previous live stream, onboard scales measure and display the approximate weight that you currently have in your payload of your vehicle. So it can also be used to determine the approximate weight of additional items that you load into the back of your truck. All right, so these are all enhanced with the, of course, the Power My Trip feature, because with the Power My Trip, when you're utilizing the available onboard scale system, well, then now it's going to help give you the most up-to-date information and make sure that it accommodates for that additional weight when it's factoring in your range. So it'll help keep you not only alert to where your closest charging stations are, but it'll also let you know, based on the weight that you've added to the vehicle, what type of impact that is going to have to your range. All right. So it gives you a ton of information on nearly 5 tons of towing capacity that this truck can handle. So it's a great feature. Tablet's vibrating. You know what that means, guys. Question. And while we're getting that question, I want to also tell you guys what we're going to talk about next. We're going to talk more about our Ford Copilot 360 technology. And I know you guys want to see more of the inside. So I'm going to take a seat in the driver's seat so you guys can get more of a sneak peek of the inside of the vehicle while we talk about our Ford Copilot 360 technology. But before we move, Larry, before we do that, let's answer our question, all right? Let's take a look here and see. All right, this question comes from Tammy. Hello, Tammy. Thanks for being with us. We're excited to have you here. All right. And see, Tammy, great. You talk about right on time. This is when you know somebody's taking notes and paying attention. Tammy's question is this. I know your towing capacity, but how many miles do you expect the truck to get while towing, say, a 6,000-pound trailer full time? Tammy, that is a fantastic question, right? But it's a question that I can't answer, because here's why. Due to all the different variables that come into that, because here's the question that I would have that you have to consider. How fast are we going? What's the elevation? What are the conditions of the road? All of the different variables that go into place, there's no set answer for that particular question, Tammy. However, one of the things that you're going to have the advantage of with the F-150 Lightning is the intelligent range. And what that's going to do is that's going to give you that constant visibility to let you know, based on some of those conditions that I mentioned, based on your speed, based on if you're ascending or descending hills, based on the conditions of the road, based on all of those factors, it's going to give you the most up-to-date range, and it's going to display that for you consistently inside the cabin of your F-150 Lightning. So, for example, if it's a flatbed trailer or a boat trailer, right, those will create different impacts when it comes to your towing capability. So just some of those variable factors, which are the same variable factors that we deal with right now with our internal combustion engines, because as we talked about before, right, when we talk about how much or how far can we tow, we really don't have an actual number for that, even with our gas towing. What we've become accustomed to is saying, well, I can get from point A to point B and I'll have a quarter of a tank left. And that's what we've been comfortable saying that as our unit of measure. Well, now with the technology we have with the F-150 Lightning, we take that and elevate that, because now this vehicle with the intelligent range system will learn your habits of how you're driving, if you're a lead foot or not a lead foot, how fast you're going, all that fun stuff, and then it will give you the most up-to-date range information based on that. So, Tammy, I know that was a long answer in response to your question, but to plainly answer your question, even now, whether it be gas or electric, there's no way to answer that question. But what I can tell you is with the intelligent range system and the F-150 Lightning and the technology in place, you're going to have a lot more visibility and information about your range impact with towing. All right. And it's not going to leave you hanging, because it's going to completely tell you and give you an idea of where the next charging station is as you're out on your journey. Let's hop into the driver's seat here so we can talk a little bit more about our Copilot 360 technologies. All right. And Tammy, thank you for that question. All right, guys. So let's talk about, of course, our Ford Copilot 360 technology. Now, the reason that I wanted to sit down and talk about Ford Copilot 360 technology is because it's one of those things, and this is what I've learned. It is something that you don't appreciate and know that you need or needed until you've had the opportunity to experience it, until you've had the opportunity to interact with it and really see how beneficial it can be for you, right? I'll even share a personal example for me. Bliss, our blind spot information system, right? I've always was a person that would check my blind spots. I would look over. I would do the look behind my neck, all of that stuff. But when I started utilizing the Bliss system and I was able to see that I can get an indicator light right in my side view mirror that would be in my peripheral, it added to my level of confidence, but then it also added to my driving experience, because now I didn't have to stress about looking over or looking forward and doing all that when I can utilize the technology of the vehicle. So let's talk about some of the driver assistant features that are included to help do exactly that, to keep you comfortable, confident, and in control when you're behind the wheel. So with the Copilot 360 technology, I wanted to start off by talking about our pre-collision assist with automatic emergency braking. All right. Now, what that does is that scans the road ahead. Okay. And so what that's going to do is that can alert you to a potential collision with a vehicle or with a pedestrian that's ahead of you. And then if that impact is imminent and you don't take any action, well, then it can help by automatically applying the brakes. Now, one of the things that I want to mention with all of our Copilot 360 technology, as I go through these are all assist features, right? And so what that means for you guys is that you always want to be in tune with your vehicle and paying attention and always make sure that you are reacting. With the vehicle and any of these Copilot 360 technologies, none of these systems are included to where you can take your hands off the wheel, close your eyes, and hope for the best. It's not how they work. What they're designed to do is they're designed to assist you to maximize and hopefully prevent any collisions or any other things that might happen while you're driving on the road. So keep that in mind, that all of these technologies are built and in place to assist, not replace you as driver interactions. So the next one we want to talk about a little bit more is exactly what I mentioned, which is BLISS, that blind spot information system. Now, I already told you that it gives you the indicator light in your side view mirror and how that works. But one of the things that it also is going to add is the BLISS with the trailer coverage and cross traffic alerts. All right. So the blind spot information system works on the side of the vehicle. And Larry, you can show on the side of the vehicle because it's a set of features that are moving all the way down the side of this vehicle. So all of this that you see here is going to be censored by your BLISS, which is your blind spot detection system. OK. And what this is going to help you do, especially if you hook up a conventional trailer, is it's really cool because it changes the way that you drive, whether you have a trailer or not. And one of the big features that it does is that since the Class 4 hitch is standard on the F-150 Lightning trucks, the trailer coverage is also standard. And what that means for you is that once you set up your conventional trailer in the system, it modifies BLISS to provide an extra 33 feet of coverage to allow you to see and have better visibility of your trailer. All right. And what I mean by when I say see, it's going to give you those sensors and utilize those sensors to help you navigate through traffic, whether you're trying to merge into traffic or whether you're just simply trying to get over into another lane while you're traveling. So not only does the blind spot information system help you by alerting you to vehicles that are in your blind spot that you can't detect, but also it's going to give you that additional coverage space with the trailer hookup. And that's great. Now, keep in mind, remember, with that feature, you do have to set your conventional trailer up. And we give you all that information. Remember, I even showed you guys where the digital owner's manual was that can walk you through properly setting it up to make sure that you can maximize the use of that system. All right. Another good thing that you're going to have is the lane keeping system. Now, some of the things that I'm talking about, guys, and I know, Larry, you're outside of the truck, but I wanted you guys to be aware, some of the things that I'm talking about in these features, you're actually going to find located right here in your steering wheel. So the good thing about it is you will have the availability where some of these are just the press of a button right in your steering wheel. Okay. So lane keeping system. Let's talk about that. What that does is that scans your F-150 Lightning's position in between the lines of the road ahead. So it utilizes those lane markers, and then what it does is that it can alert you if you start to get to the edge of that lane marker. So if you find yourself where you are starting to veer outside of your lane, it's going to give you an alert and let you know. Another cool feature is the auto high beam headlamps. Now, if you're like me, and you like to have maximum visibility while you're driving, high beam headlamps can really come in handy for that. And so what this feature does with the auto high beam headlamps is you don't have to worry about now, where as we all have done, we will do this and then, and now you don't have to worry about doing that, because what the auto high beam headlamps will do is they have the ability to sense when it gets darker, and they will automatically come on, so they can sense poor lighting conditions and switch your lights on. But most importantly, they will sense either oncoming traffic or you approaching a vehicle in front of you, and then they will automatically turn those lights off. So that way, you don't have to worry about blinding or distracting other drivers that are on the road. All right. Some other cool features that are included with the Ford Copilot 360, and I'll give them to you just in bullet point format so you have an idea. They're going to include certain things like the rear view camera with dynamic hitch assist. You'll also have rear parking sensors. You have the reverse brake assist. and then you'll have post-collision braking as well. Now, the Ford, in addition to that, so all of those Ford Copilot 360 technology features, if you have questions about them and how they work, or just want to get more familiar, that's where you can utilize the technology and look in your digital owner's manual. Or, as you guys know, you can check out Discover Your Ford, where we will give you some more great tips and videos that discuss some of these things more in depth. All right. Now, if that's not enough for you, guess what, guys? There's more. Wait, there's more? Yes, there's more. So you also have the availability to take that Ford Copilot 360 that I just mentioned, and there's a 2.0 version. It's available on the XLT, and it's standard on the Lariat and the Platinum. All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about that, but I just got a vibrate. I got a question, so let me get to the question, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the additional Ford Copilot 360 Assist 2.0 version. Let's see what our question is. All right, this question comes from Sean. Hey, Sean, thanks for tuning in with us. Excited to have you here. Oh, great. Here we go. So I love when you guys are in tune with what we're talking about. So Sean's question is this. Are Copilot 360 and Blue Cruise available as options on XLT? All right, so first off, Sean, I'm going to tell you definitely make sure you tune in next month when we talk about model overviews, but I'm going to answer your question. So Blue Cruise will be available on Lariat and Platinum as part of the Ford Copilot 360 Active 2.0 system. All right. However, Ford Copilot 360 2.0 is standard on all F-150 Lightning models. Okay, so to answer your question, again, just to repeat it to make sure you know, the Blue Cruise specifically will be available on the Lariat and the Platinum trim levels as part of, so you have to get it as part of the Ford Copilot 360 Active 2.0 system. But as far as the Copilot system itself, the 2.0 system, it's standard on all of the F-150 Lightning models. All right. So, Sean, thank you for that question. And thank you for that great segue. It's like you were definitely in tune with where I was going next, which is to talk a little bit more about the 2.0 system and what that can include. All right. So getting back to what we were discussing, guys, as I mentioned, it's available on XLT models, but it's standard on the Lariat, Platinum. And what this includes, this additional is going to include the intelligent adaptive cruise control with stop and go. And what that means for you is that it's going to keep your F-150 Lightning up to pace with traffic, even slowing or stopping you if necessary, based on the vehicle in front of you. Now, one thing that it does that's nice is that once things are cleared up, you can bring your F-150 Lightning back up to speed by either pressing your accelerator button if you're stopped for more than 3 seconds, or by simply pressing the resume button. Now, if you're stopped less than 3 seconds, then the system will automatically do that for you. All right, so that's another big thing. The lane centering system, there's another feature that you'll have, the lane centering and speed sign recognition. This is huge because what this does, especially if you're on open roads such as highways or interstates, this will actually manage the F-150 Lightning's lane position, and in addition to that, it will also monitor your speed. Now, there are some settings and features that you can adjust with that, which is really nice, and that's in your settings feature that you'll find. So you can, adjust that based on your lifestyle and what's comfortable for you. But with the lane centering and the speed sign recognition, that's, again, another feature that allows you to now have that added comfort and convenience when it comes to driving. It provides basically continuous steering support. Now, I want to make sure that you guys understand the difference. So with this system, the lane centering system, the difference between that and the lane keeping that I mentioned earlier, the lane keeping only intervenes when you're near the boundaries. The lane centering always maintains that steering input to make sure that you stay in the center of the lane. So that's kind of how the two systems operate a little bit differently. Another one that we talked about, or another feature, is our Evasive Steering Assist. Now, this is important because I talked about this a little bit earlier. Evasive Steering Assist. The assist part is a key word. At no point, guys, do I want you thinking that, hey, I can just take my hands off this wheel, close my eyes, and hope for the best. No. The Evasive Steering Assist, what that does is that uses the cameras that we talked about and some of the radar sensors and technology. And what that's going to do is with the available pre-collision assist and the automatic emergency braking, it's going to utilize those systems to detect the vehicle ahead and then apply the active steering boost to help you maneuver around that stopped vehicle in your path. So what those systems do is they work as a tandem and in team with one another to basically make sure, let's say if I'm driving and I have my steering and I go, maybe this gingerly and that's not enough, it's going to give me that steering boost so that way I can potentially avoid the obstacle, pedestrian, or vehicle that's in front of me. The reason that's important is because guess what? I still have to have some sort of input. So again, guys, keep in mind that is an assist system and feature, all right? Another one that is good is our intersection assist, okay? The available intersection assist uses the front camera. And Larry, as a matter of fact, let's head back up to the front. We can kind of show them where some of this technology is located while we're talking about it, right? So the intersection assist, because both of those things that I mentioned kind of take place here near the front of the vehicle, right? And so with the intersection assist, that is going to be utilized. There's a camera that you can see right up here, up front. You can kind of see some of the sensors here in the front, the camera there. So that way it gives you an idea. You also, guys, as Larry gives you that great shot, put a thank you guys in the chat for Larry, because he's always giving you guys the best shots possible. So also here in your windshield, your front windshield, you're going to have some cameras that are utilized here as well. So as I mentioned, I told you guys this vehicle is just filled with cameras, sensors, and everything around. So all of those cameras and sensors that I mentioned are going to help with the intersection assist. Now, the intersection assist, and it's an available feature, and what that does is that utilizes that front camera and the radar sensors that we just pointed out to detect oncoming traffic while you're attempting to turn left. Now, this is great because what that does is that if there is a risk of a potential collision with an upcoming or oncoming vehicle, your vehicle can alert you and even apply the brake. All right, so that's just another benefit that you'll have with the intersection assist. Connected built-in navigation is another big one. And before we get there, it looks like I've got a question coming in. So let's take a look at that. You see, guys, I'm responsive to these questions. So if you get a question and I feel this tablet vibrate, I'm telling you, I'm going to be right on these questions. This question comes from Dan. So Dan, as I said, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for a question. Dan's question is this. Let's see. Will the Lightning's technology support the following remote control functions: pre-departure scheduled and immediate battery temperature conditioning, cabin temperature preconditioning, GPS vehicle location, find my car, battery state of charge, etc.? Those are some great questions, Dan. So let's kind of walk through those, all right? So through your Ford Pass app, you can see a lot of it and have visibility on a lot of the things that you mentioned. Your Ford Pass app is a great way to have insight on some of the things that you have a question about, Dan. And specifically, through your Ford Pass app, and I'm going to kind of go through some of the highlights, you can do and see your battery state of charge. You can remotely lock and unlock your vehicle. You can start your vehicle. You can manage your charge settings. So if you remember, Dan, from our charging, we talked about that when you set and you charge your vehicle, you can schedule your charge time. So as an example, let's say I come home at 6 p.m., but I don't want my charging to start until 9 p.m. because that's when my electric company gives me a discounted rate. I can do that through my Ford Pass app, and I can schedule my charge time, so it will give you the availability to do that. From preconditioning, it works the same way. If, let's say, you're leaving at 7 in the morning and you want your vehicle preconditioned to a certain temperature, you will have the availability to do that as well. What's something else that you mentioned? So you can do that for setting up for your departure time. You can precondition your cabin, which is great. And the benefit also of doing it that way, Dan, is that if you precondition your cabin while you're still plugged in, well, then you have that ability to now maximize your battery usage. So that's just another benefit of being able to precondition the vehicle before you even leave for the day. You can also see like your tire pressure. You can set your secure alert notifications. You can do things like view your vehicle on the map to find out where you're located. So let's say as we approach the holiday season, you park and you don't exactly remember where you parked because you've been enjoying doing your holiday shopping. Well, you can go into your FordPass app and you can actually get navigated directly to your vehicle. So Dan, to answer your question, yes, a lot of the things that you mentioned, the preconditioning, the battery temperatures, the cabin temperatures, the GPS location, you will have the visibility and the ability to utilize those features through your FordPass app. So great question, Dan, very in-depth. Thank you for that. And let's go back. So Dan had a great question. I really appreciate that. So we're going to go back and we're going to talk about some of the continued and to kind of give you back to where we were talking about. We were talking about the 2.0 and some of the things that are included with that. So we talked about, just to give you guys bullet points, we talked about already the evasive steering. We left off on the intersection assist, and that's what led us here to the front. We talked about intersection assist, which is that assist where if in the event you're turning left, it will give your vehicle the ability to where if in the event something is, it detects that there is a potential collision, then what it will do is that it will help your vehicle by applying the brakes so that it can help you avoid that detected collision. From there, those features that we talked about, right, all of those features that we just mentioned, they are standard on the Platinum trim level, and they're available on the Lariat, right? Now, what also you're going to see is some other features that I want to get into and I want to talk about, because we talked about this as a question, and that is Ford Blue Cruise. All right. I want to talk about Ford Blue Cruise, and then I'm also going to talk about the added Active Park Assist 2.0. So let's talk about Blue Cruise, because we mentioned that in a question earlier, and I think that also flows in with our other question about what available technologies that we have. The Blue Cruise system is great because what it does is it allows you as the driver to take your hands off of the steering wheel on certain roadways. Now, this is a big key and a big caveat. Basically, it allows you to take your hands off of the vehicle and off of the steering wheel, and it will do certain things like the system will accelerate, it will do the braking, the steering, and it will do all those things for you as far as the lane keeping. And what we've done, Ford has put the available Blue Cruise through its paces, right? We've made sure that it really will create a driver experience that is truly hands-off. Now, with that hands-off, there comes a level of responsibility, because having the ability to have your hands off of the steering wheel also means that you want to use it on the appropriate roads, okay? So to give you guys an idea, right now, this feature is compatible on pre-qualified sections of divided highways that we called hands-free blue zones. They make up nearly 130,000 miles in North America. So you want to make sure that using this system, the Blue Cruise, you want to make sure that you're using it on those hands-free dedicated blue zones. And you will know that because the system will alert you, and I'll talk about how you'll be alerted to when you're in one of those blue zones. But what's going to happen if, let's say, you're on other roadways or anything like that where hands-free driving is not permitted, well, then the system can still do some of the features such as accelerate, brake, or steer the vehicle, but your hands will still have to be on the steering wheel. All right. So, and Larry, let's walk back this way because I know they want to see more of the truck and I want to show them more of the truck, right? Why not? So, talking about Blue Cruise and hands-free and what that means, okay? We talked about that it is on pre-qualified pre-roads that will be indicated that you will know that, hey, these are those hand-free blue zones, okay? Now, how will I know? How will you know? Well, when activated, the mode indicator light that will display on your cluster. So basically what will happen, and then just kind of get in here so I can show you. So you'll get an indicator light that'll show on your cluster that will let you know, and it will actually be, it will show and give you a text that will say hands-free with a blue background and hue, and that's when you'll know that it's safe to remove your hands from the steering wheel, okay? So that, make sure you have that indicator light, because this system will make sure to be working on those. Now, if you are not in a blue hands-free blue zone, then what will happen is you will still have to have your hands on the steering wheel and active, okay? So keep that in mind, guys. This can help provide a better overall experience, and it will eliminate any potential frustration if you're trying to utilize a system in a road that's just not part of that 130,000 miles that I mentioned. All right. Now, Blue Cruise offers regular mapping updates and technologies to recognize new road infrastructures. So, as we talked about earlier, with technology constantly changing and being updated, you also want to make sure that you are in tune with your vehicle, doing and making sure that you have the most up-to-date software in your vehicle. And that way, you can take advantage of the hands-free blue zones, and you can make sure that you're minimizing, as I said, your frustration. Because what are we talking about, guys? We're talking about utilizing technology to build your comfort, your confidence, and you being in command when it comes to being behind the wheel. All right. So before we talk more about the Power Up software updates, which I'm definitely going to talk about those Power Up software updates, I want to go back and I want to talk about the Active Park Assist. All right. So what the Active Park Assist can do is that can actually help reduce the stress that we all have experienced from parking, right? Whether you're talking about parallel or perpendicular parking, whether you're talking about pulling in or pulling out of a parking space, we've all been in that situation to where, guess what? It just sometimes can get a little bit frustrating and a little bit stressful. Here's what the Active Park Assist will do. It'll help reduce that stress by taking over the steering, shifting, braking, and acceleration to navigate and parallel park or perpendicular park you into a space with ease. It also includes certain features like a Park Out Assist, which provides assistance when exiting a parallel parking spot, right? So it's great, guys, because what that feature does is it really helps, and I've had a chance to use it myself. So if you could imagine, even how we're set up right now, if you can imagine our F-150 Lightning here being in a parking situation, I can be in the driver's seat, I can utilize that system, and what it will do is easily park me out of that system, park me out of that space so that I can continue on the road. And especially if there's a car behind me, and we've all been there, that's itching to get into my parking spot, it's going to help me get out of my parking spot as efficiently as possible. It also will help you get into a parking spot efficiently. So it's a great system, a great feature to have. It's an available feature, and I want you guys to make sure if you have questions about that, you know what I'm going to tell you to do? Check out Discover Your Ford, right? That's what we're here for. Now, we've talked about this, and again, it's a big thing. All of this technology, Larry, and just from here to all the way up, right? All the technology. There you go. Keep going. There you go. That's it. Show them all of it, Larry. All of this technology that we mentioned that comes together on all of this, right? All of this great F-150 Lightning, it only works if you take advantage and utilize the software and make sure that you guys are taking advantage of the Power Up software updates. Now, this is important. Why is it important? Because your F-150 Lightning will be incredible once you take ownership of it. But with this technology comes responsibility, and with that, it will actually continue to even get better. And you can imagine that, right? So what does that mean to you? Because we've all heard about vehicle updates and how they work, and especially if you have been a Ford owner, you're familiar with having to have it connected to your Wi-Fi and all those things. Here's what this means for you. The system updates are delivered to your vehicle via Wi-Fi or through the Ford Pass Connect, just like utilizing your phone or computer. So what that means is there will be certain features that will be pushed through as over-the-air updates. And with utilizing of some of those updates is that now you're going to have new features, new capabilities, and new experiences. This includes system enhancements. This also ensures that now you're getting the best version of your F-150 Lightning. So this means that now, guys, think about it. So this means that for you, utilizing and taking advantage of these over-the-air software updates, now you're going to have certain things like powertrain updates, or you can even have the battery updates, certain things and features that are going to make your F-150 Lightning ownership just electrifying. You see what I did there? I'm a dad. These come easy. So not only is the truck electrified, but it can be electrifying. But guess what, guys? You have to make sure you do your part to keep it that way. All right? I want you to have the best ownership experience possible when it comes to the F-150 Lightning. And I want you guys to make sure that as you enjoy your F-150 Lightning, you enjoy it to the maximum capacity. Listen, I've had a lot of fun with you guys talking about and answering some of your questions. I do want to encourage you, make sure if you have any other questions, check out Discover Your Ford, where we have quick tips, videos, one-on-one walkthroughs, all the information that you need to be up to date with information. Also, make sure that you guys tune in next month, where we're going to be talking about in December a model overview, so you can get more information about the F-150 Lightning. And I'm going to give you guys a second here. If there's any other questions, I'm going to check before we get done for here, but I'm going to check to see if there's any other questions that we have. Let me check that. Looks like we're all clear, which is great. Listen, I thank you guys for being with us. We're excited. I hope that you can see the excitement we have and you can feel it, because you know, I think, Larry, I don't know. I think we did our job. We did our part, right? I feel like we brought the thunder so you guys can bring the lightning, right? Listen, guys, this has been fun. Thank you for tuning in to Discover Your Ford. Make sure you tune in next month. I had fun with you guys, but like I said, we brought the thunder. Now it's your turn to bring the lightning. Enjoy. Have a great night.